the year 2025, a year that will be remembered in the annals of history, not just for its events, but for the profound shifts it heralded within one of the world's oldest institutions. The Catholic Church stands at a crossroads, a pivotal moment that could redefine its future. The dawn of a new era is upon us, and with it the promise of transformation. After decades of tradition, a new era dawns. The sun rises not just over the Vatican, but over the hopes and dreams of millions who look to the Church for guidance and inspiration. Pope Francis, once seen as a transitional figure, has emerged as a force for radical change. His vision, once thought to be a mere whisper, now echoes through the halls of the Vatican and beyond. His papacy, once defined by cautious optimism, now pulses with a sense of urgency. The urgency to address the pressing issues of our time, to bridge the gap between tradition and modernity, and to bring the Church closer to the people it serves. The world watches, captivated and bewildered, as the ancient institution grapples with modernity. The eyes of the faithful and the skeptical alike are fixed on the Vatican, waiting to see what the future holds. Francis's vision is clear: a church that embraces the marginalized, prioritizes dialogue over dogma, and confronts its own internal struggles. He seeks to create a more inclusive and compassionate church, one that reflects the teachings of Christ in every action and word. But his reforms have not come without a cost. The corridors of the Vatican are filled with whispers of dissent, and the faces of some clergymen reflect the weight of the changes being proposed. Resistance simmers within the Vatican, fueled by those who fear the dismantling of centuries-old structures. The tension is palpable as the old guard grapples with the new vision being laid out before them. Outside, the faithful grapple with the implications of this new direction, their reactions a mixture of hope and apprehension. Some see it as a long overdue change, while others fear it may lead the Church away from its core principles. The world has known many popes, each leaving their mark on the Church. From the reformers to the traditionalists, each has shaped the path of Catholicism in their own way. Yet few have dared to challenge the status quo with the audacity of Pope Francis. His willingness to confront difficult issues head-on has set him apart from his predecessors. His papacy marks not just a shift in leadership, but a potential seismic change in the very essence of Catholicism. The ground beneath the Church is shifting, and with it, the foundations of centuries-old beliefs and practices. The question is no longer whether change is coming, but whether the Church can withstand the tremors of its own transformation. As the storm of reform gathers strength, the world watches, waiting to see if the Church will emerge stronger and more united, or if it will fracture under the weight of its own evolution. Francis's reforms are not abstract theological debates. They are concrete actions that resonate throughout the Church. His approach is not just about changing policies, but about transforming the very essence of the institution. He has taken steps that have a profound impact on the daily lives of millions of Catholics around the world. These actions are felt in the pews, in the communities, and in the hearts of the faithful. He has shaken the foundations of the Vatican's financial system, demanding transparency and accountability in an institution long shrouded in secrecy. This move has not only brought a new level of scrutiny, but has also set a precedent for other religious and secular institutions. His words on climate change, penned in his landmark encyclical, have galvanized a generation concerned about the planet's future. By addressing environmental issues, he has positioned the Church as a moral leader in the fight against climate change. He has extended a hand to the LGBTQ+ community, urging compassion and understanding in the face of discrimination. This outreach has been a significant step towards inclusivity, signaling a shift in the Church's stance on LGBTQ+ issues. His pronouncements on the role of women in the Church, though falling short of full equality for some, have nonetheless ignited debate and fueled calls for further progress. He has opened doors for women to take on more significant roles within the Church, challenging long-standing traditions. And his unwavering focus on the plight of migrants and refugees has challenged nations to confront their own conscience. He has consistently advocated for the rights and dignity of those displaced by conflict, poverty, and persecution. These are not mere gestures. but deliberate actions designed to reshape the Church's relationship with the modern world. Francis understands that for Catholicism to remain relevant in the 21st century, it must confront its own failings and embrace the complexities of a changing world. His reforms, though met with resistance, are a testament to his unwavering belief in the power of dialogue, compassion, and justice. He has faced opposition from within the Church and beyond, yet he remains steadfast in his mission. Pope Francis's bold moves are not just about making headlines, they are about making a difference. He is a leader who is not afraid to challenge the status quo and push for meaningful change. His vision for the Church is one that is inclusive, transparent, and engaged with the world's most pressing issues. He is paving the way for a future where the Church can be a beacon of hope and justice for all. As he continues to lead with courage and conviction, Pope Francis is not just changing the Church, he is changing the world. His legacy will be one of transformation, compassion, and unwavering commitment to justice and equality. In a time of great uncertainty and division, his leadership offers a path forward, grounded in the timeless values of love, mercy, and human dignity. Pope Francis's bold moves are a call to action for all of us, to build a more just and compassionate world. His journey is far from over, and the impact of his reforms will be felt for generations to come. As we look to the future, we can draw inspiration from his example and strive to make a difference in our own communities. The impact of Francis's reforms is most palpable in the reactions they have elicited. Progressive Catholics, long yearning for a more inclusive and engaged Church, have welcomed his papacy with open arms. They see in Francis a leader willing to confront difficult truths and challenge outdated doctrines. However, Francis's approach has also sparked anxiety and opposition amongst traditionalists. They view his reforms as a dangerous departure from established doctrine, a slippery slope towards relativism and compromise. Conservative cardinals and bishops have voiced their dissent, warning of the potential for schism within the Church. This tension between progress and tradition is not new to Catholicism. Throughout its history, the Church has grappled with the need to evolve while upholding its core tenets. What distinguishes Francis's papacy is the sheer scale and speed of the changes he has initiated. The Church finds itself in uncharted territory, navigating the treacherous waters between preserving its identity and embracing a rapidly changing world. Echoes of the past, Francis in the footsteps of giants. To grasp the significance of Pope Francis's reforms, one must place them within the broader context of Catholic history. The Catholic Church, with its 2 millennia of existence, has undergone numerous transformations, each shaped by the vision and courage of its leaders. From the early days of Christianity, through the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, and into the modern era, the Church has continually evolved, responding to the needs and challenges of the times. His papacy, though unprecedented in many ways, also echoes the transformative spirit of his predecessors. Pope Francis, with his humble demeanor and progressive outlook, has introduced reforms that resonate deeply with the faithful and the broader global community. His approach to leadership is both a continuation and a departure from the past, blending tradition with innovation. Like Pope John XXIII, who convened the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s, Francis seeks to modernize the Church and make it more accessible to the laity. The Second Vatican Council was a watershed moment in Church history, bringing about significant changes in liturgy, ecumenism, and the Church's approach to the modern world. Francis's efforts to decentralize Church authority and promote a more inclusive and participatory Church echo the spirit of Vatican II. Francis's emphasis on social justice and his unwavering commitment to the poor draw inspiration from the legacy of Pope Paul VI, who championed the cause of the marginalized and spoke out against economic inequality. Paul VI's encyclical Populorum Progressio highlighted the Church's responsibility towards social justice and the need for economic reforms to address global poverty, who championed the cause of the marginalized and spoke out against economic inequality. Francis has continued this mission, advocating for the rights of refugees, the homeless, and those living on the fringes of society. His encyclical Laudato Si calls for environmental stewardship and highlights the interconnectedness of social, economic, and environmental justice. And his focus on interfaith dialogue and his efforts to bridge the divide between different religious communities resonate with the vision of Pope John Paul II, who tirelessly advocated for peace and understanding between faiths. John Paul II's historic meetings with leaders of various religions set a precedent for interfaith dialogue, promoting mutual respect and cooperation, who tirelessly advocated for peace and understanding between faiths. Francis has built on this legacy, engaging in numerous interfaith initiatives and fostering dialogue with leaders of different religious traditions. His visits to conflict zones and his calls for peace and reconciliation have reinforced the Church's commitment to global harmony. Francis's papacy, while unique in its own right, stands as a testament to the Church's enduring capacity for renewal and reform. His initiatives, from addressing clerical abuse to promoting environmental sustainability, reflect a deep commitment to the core values of the Gospel. These efforts underscore the Church's ability to adapt and respond to contemporary issues while staying true to its spiritual mission. It is a reminder that Catholicism, despite its image as an immutable monolith, has always been a dynamic and evolving institution shaped by the currents of history and the vision of its leaders. The Church's journey through time is marked by periods of profound change, driven by the need to remain relevant and responsive to the spiritual and temporal needs of its followers. Shaped by the currents of history and the vision of its leaders. As we reflect on Pope Francis's contributions, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of those who came before him and the ongoing journey of the Church towards a more just, compassionate, and inclusive world. The Vatican in flux, navigating uncharted waters. The Vatican, the epicenter of the Catholic world, is abuzz with speculation and intrigue. Pope Francis's reforms have sent shockwaves through the Curia, the Church's administrative apparatus, unsettling long-held hierarchies and challenging entrenched interests. The old guard, accustomed to the slow, deliberate pace of Vatican bureaucracy, now find themselves in a whirlwind of change. Whispers of discontent echo through the marbled corridors. Conservative cardinals, wary of Francis's progressive agenda, voice their concerns in hushed tones, fearing the dilution of traditional doctrine. Liberal-leaning bishops, emboldened by the Pope's vision, advocate for bolder reforms, pushing the boundaries of what was once considered unthinkable. The Vatican, once a bastion of predictability, is now a crucible of change. The outcome of this internal struggle remains uncertain. Will Francis's reforms usher in a new era of openness and dialogue? Or will the weight of tradition stifle his attempts at renewal? The answer, it seems, lies in the delicate balance between preserving the Church's identity and adapting to the demands of a rapidly changing world. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.